The 2025 triathlon race season is fast approaching, and I thought it was a good time to reveal the races that I think I'm going to be doing, my goals, my targets for this year, and potentially talk about trying to do another Ironman, which a lot of you will not be happy about, I know. I've even had people say they will unsubscribe if I do another Ironman, but there is good reasoning behind it, and that's what this video is all about, chatting about the goals and ideas and races that I want to do this year and how that might progress me into following seasons and where I want to get to in the sport. Straight off the bat, I am not targeting the Ironman Pro Series or the T100 series. Reason for T100 is because I'm not good enough, so I haven't got the opportunity to get a contract. If a wildcard slot does become available, and they offer it to me, then I will 100% take it. But I'm not going into the season thinking, oh, I'll get a wildcard slot at some point. If I do get it, amazing. If I don't, not the end of the world. I'm not planning for it. The Ironman Pro Series, why I'm not targeting that is because ultimately, if you want to do well in the Pro Series, you have to do 3 full Ironmans. And you have to be an Ironman athlete, really, if you want to do well in the series. I personally believe. I don't think you can really do that well in the series if you're focusing on 70.3s, because the way the point system works is obviously heavily weighted towards Ironman distance, full Ironman distance. So yeah, I could focus on 70.3 and focus on Pro Series, but that doesn't really make sense to me. And I've not yet put together a really good Ironman. So to try and target 3 full Ironmans in 1 year would not be that sensible. So I'm not doing either of the series. Instead, what I've decided to do is select individual races that will serve me well, that I think I will do well at, that I think a result could push me in the right direction with regards to, let's say, sponsorships or better rankings or better prize money, stuff like this. Basically push me in the right direction to better my profile in the sport. And then ultimately, longer term, look to do one of the series. If I'm in a position to race T100, that would be amazing in the future. If I'm in a position to race the Pro Series, that would be amazing in the future. But right now, it's picking individual races that will serve me well. And the first race that I'm going to plan on doing is Ironman 70.3 Valencia in roughly 9 weeks' time. I think the course will really suit me well. It's going to be difficult because it's one of the first, if not the first race or the first weekend of the European season. I know there's other races on that weekend like Challenge Salou or Gran Canaria, I can't remember. So there are a few other races dotted around, but that's going to be very stacked because it's the first almost opportunity for European athletes to come together and race hard. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see who shows up. And then following on from that, I've qualified for the Challenge Championships, which is 3 weeks after Valencia. So I think that's a really good time for me to hit Valencia, have a little think about what went well, what didn't go well, and then I've still got 3 weeks to try and build on confidence and build on stuff that maybe wasn't as good, and then try and get that a bit better for Challenge Champs. Challenge Champs I've done before, and I really think the course suits me quite well. It's flat and fast. It's a really cool location. Doesn't cost much to get to. It just all kind of ticks all the boxes. And the reason also why I want to pick the Challenge Champs is because it's almost like an in-between race. So it's basically a higher profile race than a standard 70.3. But it's not, I don't believe it's quite as high as let's say 70.3 world champs. So, but it's better than, you'll get better competition and better prize money than a standard 70.3. So it's a really good opportunity for me to go there, race probably quite a hard field, but put myself out there and hopefully race for good position and good prize money. And that will then hopefully build my profile in the sport as well. That will then push me towards getting a better ranking. And I'd really like to try and push for a really good position in Challenge Champs. What that looks like, I don't know. But I mean, with my 8th place at 70.3 Worlds, I feel like I can get near the front of that race, which would be really, really exciting. So I think that's a really good season opener. I'm then planning on doing a bit of an altitude camp with the boys, so that'll be That'll be really cool. And then I will be coming back to Ironman 70.3 Swansea, which now is Pro Series. And I know earlier I mentioned I'm not focusing on the Pro Series. However, I will be doing Swansea just because it's literally like a 2-hour drive away. It's cheap travel, it's cheap accommodation. I won it last year, even though like this year it's going to be Pro Series, so it's going to be pretty nails. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty stacked as well. But I know the course really well, and I really enjoyed it last year. So I figured it'd be silly not to just go. It would be silly to not go because it's Pro Series. And I don't really want to pussy out of that. So I will be doing Swansea as well, which I think is a good opportunity. And then this is the big one. This is the big one that I think will. This will either people watching this will be like, yeah, great idea, or terrible idea. Don't know what you're talking about. I am pretty sure. This is the keyword. Pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure because they haven't released the course yet. But I'm pretty sure I might want to do Ironman Leeds. Now, there is reasoning behind this. I've not been good at Ironman. Let's just put that out there right now. Okay, so the Ironman distance hasn't gone so well the last few times I've tried it. But I feel like I'm in a better position now. So the reason why I want to do Leeds is because there's way less pressure on that race because it's in the UK. I don't have to catch a flight, less money on travel, accommodation, all of that sort of stuff. I can go up and I can drive the course or I can ride the course when they release it and make sure it's a course that I'm happy with. And if it is too punchy and it is too hilly, I think I'll go for a different race. However, if I think it might suit me, then I definitely am quite interested in that because I don't know, it's not Pro Series, it's in the middle of the season. I don't know how many people will go for that race. I think it will be a very strong British race. I think you'll get some really good British guys racing there, but the prize money is really good. Like I said, easy to get to, probably fairly cheap accommodation compared to going abroad somewhere, and it's like a stress-free race for me. And I feel like if I can, my limiting factor at the Ironman distance has always been my stomach. Now I'm working with James, my nutritionist. I think we should really, and there's plenty of time until we get to Leeds, we should, fingers crossed, be able to solve some problems and make sure that I can hit that really well. And that would be amazing. I would love to race Leeds. And that then opens the door for the rest of the season. Because on one hand, if it doesn't go well, then I do something else. And I focus more on 70.3s later in the year. But if it does go well, and let's say it goes really well, I think that still qualifies me for Nice this year. I don't think it qualifies me for Kona next year. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below, but I'm pretty sure that qualifies me for Nice this year. If I race really well, then and I qualify for Nice, part of me thinks it would almost be silly not to race Nice because it's obviously a lot cheaper to get to than Kona, and it's a world champs. Like that would be incredible. However, it does need to go really well for me to think, actually, it's worth my while going to Nice. But even if it goes pretty well, I'd actually be quite happy trying another Ironman later in the year. So potentially Chattanooga or Arizona. So those are options. If it goes well, I'll do another Ironman later in the year. If it doesn't go so well, I may have to question my life choices and do something else. The other thing that I do need to mention is I qualified for Marbella, so the 70.3 World Champs last year, and I didn't take it. I let Andy Horsfall-Turner take it because he was really keen on going, and I didn't really want to go because the course I know does not suit me. I've done it previously. I hated it. It was like 1,400 metres of climbing. It's not my kind of race. If I qualify early season, potentially I might still look at going because supposedly they are going to change the course. However, I still think the fundamentals of the course will be there, and I don't think it's a course that suits me well. So part of my reasoning for that is there's no point in me going to a World Champs where I'm just on the back foot anyway because the course doesn't suit me. So I don't think Marbella is actually going to come into the season. So I would say it's less likely that I will race a World Champs this year. However, like I said, if Leeds goes really well and I do qualify, part of me might just be like, well, screw it, let's go for the World Champs and let's race there. So I've got the first half of my season in Valencia, Challenge Champs, Swansea, and potentially Leeds. And then the later half, the latter half of the season does depend on the first half of the season. So yeah, that's kind of my race schedule, my race plan up until this point. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And this is like my longer term goal is to, the reason why I'm so set on trying to get good at Ironman is because I believe as a professional long course triathlete, doing Ironman opens more doors for you with regards to like sponsorship, prize money, all of those sorts of things. You know, like the Pro Series is actually kind of like where it's at. Yes, you've got T100, kind of its own like entity, but that's seemingly more and more short course athletes that are doing that. So it's almost like a bit of a hybrid between short course and 70.3. Whereas Ironman Pro Series, like that's where like a big focus is. And I think just for longevity in the sport, it makes sense for me to really try and leave no stone unturned and knuckle down on getting good at Ironman. 70.3, yeah, 100%. You can make a living for yourself, of course, but I think there's just more there if you can be good at Ironman, and that's the key word is if. I may never be good at Ironman, and at some point I will maybe have to come to the realization of that, but I still think there's plenty of things I can focus on that I haven't focused on yet, and so I don't want to call it quits just yet. So I will be maybe trying one this year because I think longer term I'd like to focus on the Ironman Pro Series and being a strong competitive Ironman athlete, because I think that's where the gravy is. That's where you're gonna get the best out of yourself, I guess, for the work that you put in. And so that's my thought process with the races that I've got so far and the reasoning behind it. Ultimately, I really just want to validate the results that I got last year and prove that it's not just a one like good season for me. I want to back it up with another good season and race really good races that will serve me well and just put myself out there and race against some really hard competition. And I think I'm ready for that. So I'm really, really excited for the races, but I'm also really, really excited to share with you guys some of the people that I'll be working with this year, because I've still got quite a few things to release that I haven't released yet. I'm still waiting on a few bits, and I just cannot wait to share that with you guys, because this year, yeah, we're leaving no stone unturned. We're really just getting to the bottom of things, and like I keep saying, I feel like we're just kind of scratching the surface, because I feel like there's a lot more there. And so I'm just super, super excited. And I hope you guys are super excited to follow along as well. Like I said, going to get James more involved this year, push out some more high quality content for you guys. And we've got some really exciting things coming up. So really hope you guys are interested and looking forward to that. And I'm also really hoping that you guys are enjoying your training and looking forward to your own race season this year, whatever that looks like. And I hope to see as many of you at races as I possibly can. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.